Hello, everybody, and welcome back to 50 Shades of Tay. I'm Taylor Gonzalez, and if you're anything like me, you have been obsessed with Guillermo del Toro's incredible film Frankenstein. And today I am honored to be joined by the author. It's the book you can see right behind me. I look at it every single day. It is an art and making a book by Sheila O'Malley. Sheila, how are you doing today?
I'm great. Thank you so much for having me. This
Oh,
is
thank you
going to
for
be
being
fun.
here. Yes, I absolutely love your book. I literally open it every single day and flip
Oh,
through it, and I just can't get over how cool this book is. It's the perfect companion piece to Guillermo's masterpiece. And just
was the
congratulations on
goal.
this book.
Thank you. And I just think Insight Editions, who published it, they're layout people and artists. And I, I wrote it. There's 30,000 words. So I'm writing not knowing what's going to be happening,
Mhm.
how the design is going to be. So when I got my copy, I was like, my breath, like Mike Hill did the painting on the cover. It just brought tears to my eyes. I was like, this is so stunning. So it took me a while to even go, oh, let me just read what I wrote. Because by that point, it had been a couple months. I was like, yeah, it's amazing.
It's such a cool book. Anyone who doesn't have it yet, you have to add it to your collection because it is a really big, thick book with a lot of
Yeah.
gorgeous artwork, behind the scenes stuff, sketches, concept art. If you're a fan of the costumes, there's just everything you want to know about this movie you can find out in this book. And yeah, I love it. I was wondering though, how did you get involved with writing this book?
Leah Brown, who is I think, managing editor there, maybe the editor in chief, at Insight, reached out. Guillermo had requested me to do this. I had interviewed him 10 years ago about Crimson Peak. It screened at Ebert Fest, and I was in love with Crimson Peak. And so I gave it this, and I compared him to Mary Shelley in the review, which at the time I wasn't doing it to like suck up to him or anything. But so I guess when the time came around, I don't know, I never asked him why, but he knew. I'm just guessing that he knows everything about Mary Shelley. Like he really loves the book so much. And I had written about the book. So I think he wanted someone who's kind of got the book. I think that was important to him. Because, it's an adaptation of one of the most famous novels in English.
Mhm.
I would say maybe one of the most famous monsters, or at least the oldest. So that was March of 2024 was when I got the job. So they
Oh
had
my gosh.
just started filming in Toronto at the time. So yeah,
That is incredible. How does it feel to be hand selected by Guillermo to work on such an important project?
I mean, it was exciting and I felt pressure, but I was going to feel pressure anyway because I'm just that kind of person. Um, so I just wanted to do a good job. I wanted to, really show up as much as possible and give, it's not that I didn't have guidance. It's just I kind of had to do it. I've read those books before, those types of books. I know, you know. So I put together an outline that I submitted to them, to the publisher. And then it was months before I went to Scotland. I joined up with the shoot in Scotland. So I didn't interview anyone for months. So I just mostly did research on Guillermo
Mhm.
and also Mary Shelley and
Oh,
seeing really as many of other versions of Frankenstein as I could because I knew also that Guillermo is just so well versed in the adaptations. Um, and then I had I think my manuscript was due in January of 2025, the first draft anyway. So, and then everything got very fast and then it was like edit it back and forth.
mhm.
And yeah, so
Ah,
here we are.
so cool. Well, Guillermo del Toro is one of my all-time favorite filmmakers. You can just tell how passionate he is about film and,
Oh,
just how hands-on he is, and he gives 110% into everything he does. So what was it like getting to collaborate with him on putting together this book?
I mean, getting to see him in action during the shoot was something I will never forget. I was so caught up in myself in this assignment that I forgot to even go, wait a minute. just be open to this new thing, don't be so consumed with your own. And so I just, while I was there, because I was only in Scotland for about 5 or 6 days, I just wanted to absorb as much as I could, which I hope is reflected in the book as well, because the sense of collaboration of all of these hundreds of people, I mean, it was just incredible getting them on the same page. But also, he's clearly like the leader of the set. Like, there's no doubt he set the tone, and he also, and J. Miles Dale, who was the producer, both Guillermo and Guillermo's wife, Kim Morgan, and producer J. Miles Dale really were like, this is whoever you want to talk to, just let us know. You know what I mean? And they all, because everybody loves Guillermo, just made time in their extremely busy schedules. Like the cinematographer in the half an hour he had free, because nobody's busier than him. So that was it was great. And then I got to like hang out with Guillermo. I mean, I
Ah,
got to like, we would have dinner with him and Kim, and he let me this was probably the most incredible, because I've been on movie sets before, but I've never had this experience. Was he and editor Evan Schiff had me join them in the editing lab, which was a trailer, and because Guillermo was editing as he went, he would edit, the day's footage from before the next morning. So I got to watch him. That was my first glimpse of the film. They were shooting it, so I hadn't seen any of it. So I get to watch them put together a montage, and they literally speak with ESP. The two of them were like, "Tick, tick, tick, tick," it was incredible. So I felt really welcome. That was the other thing. I had gone in with, like, this is just my own neurosis. Like, I don't want to bother people. I don't want to, literally, everyone was like, oh, hi. It's, just totally, here's the sketches that I worked on, anything you need. And then, a couple of them I interviewed twice, because once I saw the film, I was like, oh, I should probably have asked about that, but I didn't know to ask about it because I hadn't seen it. So it was overall, it was just an incredible experience, and it was so cool to meet these artists, as Kate Hawley, who did the costumes, Tamara Deverell, who did the just astonishing production design, Jordan Samuel, who did the makeup, and just everybody. And then I was able to interview. Jacob had wrapped by the time I got to Scotland. I didn't talk to any of the actors when I was there, and I got them, you know, hooked up with them on Zoom in the months after. So, and then I had to put it all together, you know.
oh, that is so cool. I'm so jealous hearing this, but I'm also so happy to hear what a warm and welcoming environment
Yeah,
it was and how supported you felt. Like that, that's great because it really does translate into the book. I've talked to people who have done similar projects and it's not as welcoming and they, like you were saying, that they don't want to feel like they're in the way or asking for too many things. So when you have a set that's inviting and people who are there to, help you and give you what you need to work on your project. That's really wonderful to hear.
that's interesting. So, people who've had similar.
Similar things.
It's stressful for sure, because
Mhm.
you don't want to waste their time. But I have to, like, just hearing you say that, I have to believe that that's Guillermo as a leader. He makes everybody's like, they were all on board with the book.
Yeah.
Like, they were all tagging me on Instagram when it came out, all of
Oh,
those people I had interviewed. So
that's really
that's
sweet.
a leader like Guillermo, who everybody's like, oh, this is part of the movie.
Mhm.
Obviously, it's the book that's coming out with everybody took it seriously. So yeah, it was overall great. I got to go to the premiere and then see all these people again, and so it was cool. It
Oh,
was
that
really
is
cool.
awesome. Well, you mentioned her a couple minutes ago, but Kate Hawley, her costumes are incredible in
Stop
this
it.
movie. I am so happy with how everything turned out. I was lucky enough to go see the exhibit in LA while it was here, and I got to get
Oh,
up close with the costumes. And it's one thing to see them on the screen because they're beautiful and gorgeous, but then to see them in person and get up close and see like the individual stitches and the
wow.
detailing, I was blown away, and it was like one of my favorite experiences in a long
Wow.
time.
I'm bummed I didn't get to go see that. What else was in there? Just
Oh wow, it was a lot of costumes. They had jewelry, concept art. They had a listening room where you could listen to the score and like a
oh
dark room with curtains. And they had rare books, so they had some Mary Shelley books on display, which I could not believe. I knew there were going to be rare books, but I didn't know like that rare.
yeah. Yeah, like 200 years old kind of
Yeah.
thing. Yeah, I know that I don't want to misspeak, but I'm pretty sure that the books, the scene where Victor and Elizabeth sit and go out to dinner and she shows him the books. I'm pretty sure that those are Guillermo's actual books,
That's awesome.
from his own, which is insane that you're going to just hand it over, like hopefully. But he had been collecting books from that period, books that either Mary Shelley had read. He wanted, he's that kind of guy.
Mhm.
I want the copy that Mary read.
Yeah.
Wow, that's so cool. No, Kate Hawley is, she's visionary. I mean, when you see it, like I saw the sketches and I saw, I was seeing it kind of before seeing it. I
Mhm.
saw, just, I don't even know what to say. Like the concept of it is so fantastical and yet it's also like based in the period, so
Mhm.
but she pushes it into this just incredible realm. She did the costumes for Crimson Peak too, which I remember vividly. Um, so yeah, she really is incredible.
Yes. Well, out of all
Incredible
of the
actress.
gorgeous costumes in the film, did you have a favorite costume? I know it's a
But
hard question, but
yeah, okay, let me think. Well, the big cloak that the creature is wearing in the Arctic and
mhm,
just the silhouette of, I mean, I have goosebumps just thinking about it. And then seeing the sketches and how they thought about like what, because it's going to be the first time we see him. So it has to be a silhouette, that's very important. But then at the end, when he's sitting next to Victor, and I mean, Jacob Elordi is very tall, but that cloak gives him this massive shape. He just
mhm.
looks like Beauty and the Beast, like leaning, but he looks soft. It just the concept of the whole thing. Elizabeth, it was just one incredible costume after, the sort of purple and green
Oh yeah.
combination when she meets the creature,
Mhm.
she pulls the veil back and there's that purple. How about you? What's your favorite?
Oh my gosh. I was thinking when I was writing this question, I was thinking and I was like, I do love the cloak you mentioned. I got to see that one in person and
Oh,
they had like these screens behind it playing like the Arctic kind of scenes. So it kind of felt like being on set and seeing the big creature
wow.
and the silhouette.
So it has
But
fur on it, right?
yeah, it was
Yeah,
incredible.
yeah,
And I don't know, every time I turned the corner and saw another costume, I was like, okay, this is my favorite. Oh no, wait, this one's my favorite. And it's
yeah,
like I don't know. I
yeah.
loved all of them and I was just like blown away with how beautiful and how much detail and effort was put into them.
And just the strangeness of it, like like the funeral scene was with everyone in these what they look like chess pieces. The women, they have these white gauzy veils, which is it's you see films from this period and she says it in my interview with her, but like well, they just wanted to avoid it just being everyone in black suits, black dresses, the way
Mhm.
the sort of cliche that we because maybe because the photos were black and white or there were no photos, like people were wearing colors back then, but her sort of fantastical, like there were the footmen had like piping on the jackets that
Mhm.
my friend was like, she came to me with me to the premiere and she was like, those are skeletons. They look like ribs, just like this interesting, like black and gold. So yeah, she's just incredible,
Mhm.
incredible.
Ugh, I love it all. But I can't talk about Frankenstein without talking about Jacob Elordi's incredible performance as the creature. It blew me away seeing his performance. I know you said that he had rapped before you got to set, but what was your reaction the very first time you did actually get to see him as the creature with the costume and the makeup and everything?
Yeah, I saw when I was in the editing lab, that was the first time I saw, like Guillermo was showing me queuing up a bunch of stuff. They had some extra time that day, so he was showing me as much as they had put together. Um, I mean, I was overwhelmed by, I mean, I was in tears because it's one of those things where this is a famous monster, but it's a famous monster, but the picture that everyone has in their head is Boris Karloff in 1931, which is not does not match the book. He's barely described, except we just know he's big.
Mhm.
So our picture of the monster is from a film in 1931. So really the sky's the limit with the design of it. So Mike Hill, who designed the creature, is just, I mean, forget it. Um, but it was really the conception that both Guillermo and Jacob had of this creature, of his purity, the innocence that he had. Um, it's epic. I mean, I would call it epic in a really classical sense. Like it feels like an epic journey. Like not a lot of actors can do what he did. You know what I mean? And I don't think people saw that coming with Jacob Elordi. Um, I was blown away. I mean, I think everyone was incredible in it. I've seen all of Jacob's work, but
Mhm.
who knew that he had that in him? And Guillermo did. So,
Yeah.
yeah, he's very touching too. Just this kind of like almost Shakespeare, like it just has like this epic poem feeling to it. The emotions are massive.
Mhm.
You have to be able to do that. You have to be
Yeah.
able to do that. I mean, yeah, I was blown away by him.
Yeah, and I'm so happy when the Oscar nominations came out and he got that well-deserved nomination for Best Supporting Actor because
Yeah,
it's such a physically demanding role too, which I think a lot of people don't realize
yeah,
unless, you hear people who worked on the film talk about it or see behind the scenes stuff. It's a physically demanding role and he pulls it off perfectly.
yeah. And I mean, he said it when I interviewed him. He said that so much of the film he spent by himself. He was
Mhm.
isolated. Um, which was perfect. It ended up being perfect for the film. Um, but the lengthy makeup,
Yeah.
10, 11 hours makeup. And um, so you could tell it was him. I know that that was important to Mike
Mhm.
Hill and Guillermo. They didn't want it to feel like a rubber suit.
Right.
And they also didn't want it to be stitching because both of them felt, Mike and Guillermo, that when it's done that way, it just looks like a human that's been in a car accident.
Mm.
They wanted it to look like different pieces put together, which I
Mhm.
think they really did. But you could
Yeah.
tell it was Jacob Elordi. You could see
Mhm.
his face to
Yeah.
me. Yeah.
No, I loved it. And one of my favorite behind the scenes things that has been going around is the time lapse of him sitting in the makeup chair. And then you see how they put together all the pieces and he's like reading and on his phone and drinking Starbucks. I think it's just fun to see a time lapse and
So
get to
fun.
see
I know.
how much, effort and work goes into pulling off that look.
Yeah. Yeah. It was incredible because you have to see his whole body. He's not clothed right away.
Mm.
He's like not even half naked, mostly naked. So it had to be a full body thing. And yeah, yeah,
Such
it
a
was
cool
wonderful.
design.
Yeah, it was such a cool design. Such a cool design. So imaginative.
Yes, I
Yeah.
agree completely. So this book, I'm sure, had a lot of incredible opportunities and a lot of amazing behind the scenes things for you to put this together. But do you have a favorite part of putting this book together?
Favorite part. I mean, I have to say, is talking to all these people,
Hmm.
and um, I had like voice memo recordings just stacked on my computer. It was just they all were just so smart, so giving, so generous. And in this kind of world where we're disconnected and where films sometimes feel like they're being made with teams that are separate, almost like a cookie cutter. Like the
Hmm.
sense of collaboration was just so um, heartwarming. Um, in terms of writing it, I've said this before, I really wanted to really dig into the adaptation, mainly
Mm.
because the source material is so damn famous, right? And so I had a couple of pretty lengthy interviews with Guillermo about how he thought about the adaptation because it's different. There are
Mm.
different things in the book, and he is so forthcoming, on why he did what he did, what he took. There are two versions of the book. Like she republished it with some edits, and he's was aware of that, so he took some things from that one. And
Mhm.
so writing all of that was a challenge. I had to like get my head around, okay, how am I going to structure this? But those couple of chapters in the beginning about Mary Shelley and all her friends, and then moving into the adaptation was super ended up being super fun to read, and
Oh,
I'm actually proud. I'm very proud of those chapters.
oh, good. Yes, you should be. Those are awesome.
A little context for film. Yeah.
I'm sure that you learned a lot of details that people might not notice on their first watch of Frankenstein. Is there something that maybe someone who's only seen it once might not have noticed that you would like them to keep an eye out for the next time they watch it?
The color red,
Oh, okay.
which everyone's going to notice it because it's just filled, the film is filled with it, but it's very, every time it shows up, like every single color that is on screen is deliberate and chosen, and that goes for the color red as well.
Mm,
It's obvious that Victor is always wearing these red gloves. And I've seen a lot of kind of chatter on like his red gloves. And when I was speaking with Kate Hawley, she said, well, those are his mother's gloves, which is never made explicit because the mother is always wearing the red gloves.
mhm,
So the thought of this mama's boy,
mhm.
okay, his mama dies, he takes her gloves, and then he creates this creature while wearing the gloves. He's
Wow.
sleeping in the gloves when the creature appears at the foot of his bed, and he takes the mother's gloves off. It has so many possible interpretations, and they never say, "Oh, these are my mother's gloves." It just came out in an interview. So you could also say, "Oh, those that's like he has blood on his hands. It works as a symbol," but just the thought that they're his mother's gloves was really fun.
Okay, I love that. Thank you for telling me about that because I did not notice that. So
It's
now,
pretty
now I
good.
know.
It's pretty good. It's
Okay.
pretty like Freudian. I love it.
Oh my gosh. Well, Frankenstein has been nominated for 9 Oscars this year, including Best Picture and the Best Supporting Actor role that we talked about. How will you be watching the Oscars this year? And do you do what I do and keep a scorecard, like who you predict will win and who actually wins?
I used to do that more often. Probably not, but I'm seeing it with a group of like really good friends, a bunch of film critics, and I've watched the Oscars with them, New York friends of mine. So they're having a little gathering at their house. So that's going to be really fun. Normally I don't. I don't know. I'm busy. I'm doing other things, but this year I thought, oh, that'll be fun. That'll be
Mhm.
really fun to watch. Um, yeah, I'm happy they got the nominations that they got.
Yeah, so well deserved and so happy to see all those nominations. I can't wait. And yeah, I do that every year. I make a scorecard and then I follow along
Okay.
throughout the night.
Do you ever, enter like a pool?
Oh, no, I should. I should.
Yeah, I've done that. You might crush it. You might win some money. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I feel like I get torn between marking who I want to win and then who I think will win.
Yeah, that's the thing. No, you got to go with who you think will win, even
Who
if
I
it goes
think will win.
against. Okay, because that's how I actually won an Oscar pool once
Oh,
many
wow.
years ago because I hadn't even seen the lives of others at the time. But I was like, I don't know. I feel like that one's going to win because I keep seeing all this stuff about it. That was the winning. So, yeah.
All right. All right. I'll keep that in mind. Okay, so if someone is picking up your book for the first time and they want to know what page should I look at first, even though
Oh
I
my
know you
gosh.
should start from the beginning, but
You should definitely start from the beginning.
do you have
Let's
a favorite
see.
page?
A favorite page. There is, oh shoot. Now I don't have it near me. There is a painting. First of all, Guy Davis, who I wanted to mention, who is the does a lot of the concept art beforehand. He's like one of Guillermo's like just frequent collaborators. He's involved in every single. He does paintings. It's the book is filled with his absolutely gorgeous artwork, but I'm not sure if he did actually this one. It's kind of a painting of the creature surrounded by blue, like just this
Mm,
dramatic blue, and he's wearing that cloak that we discussed, and he just looks like this epic, and it looks like there's wind. It's beautiful. So that is my favorite image in the book. I'm trying to figure out if I can like take a picture of it so I can put it on my wall or something. But many of the things which I had seen before when I was writing it, but just in little thumbnails that they sent me. Um, the costume sketches, Tamara's, the floor plans, like the gargoyles that Guy Davis kind of sketched out, like just all of these ideas. Um, just the way they laid them out with the captions, which I wrote. Thank you. But just the artwork is one of the things that it's so important to, I think, see the work of all of the people who made this happen, from like engineers and people who tricked out the ship, and all of these collaborators are just so a part of it. It was so cool. It was
Ah,
so cool.
so awesome. Well, Sheila, I can't thank you enough for your time and for joining me today. If people want to follow you and keep up with all your other upcoming projects that you have, where's a good place to follow you?
I review films for RogerEbert.com, so usually once a week. I am on Instagram, The Real Sheila Kathleen. You can find me there. And I have a website, SheilaO'Malley.com. So yeah, that's where you
Awesome.
can find me.
I
So
will
I,
make sure to
I
put
so
notes.
appreciate you reaching out. This has been super fun.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you taking the time to join me.
Of
I
course.
appreciate everything. I love your book. I'm gonna flip through it again right now. But everybody, be sure to pick up your copy. You can get it from Inside Editions. And thank you so much. It was very nice to meet you.
Thank you so much.
Have a good day.
Bye.
Bye.